It's time for another farm update because a few things have happened on the farm, big and small, so I'll take you through all of that in this video. Yep, it's time for another farm update. From here on though, there might be a bit more infrequent with the actual sort of dedicated updates just because there's less things going on quickly. So now there's more bigger projects. So yeah, bear with me, but I will make sure I update you on what is happening like I am now. So first of all, apologies for not having been super active on the channel lately. I'm working on 3 quite big projects that I'm filming, which will come out as videos. And there's been some delays. I have been able to get parts. The weather has been a problem, as you can imagine. It's kind of wet and windy currently. It's autumn here. But we do have some interesting things going on, or there has been some developments. First of all, you may be able to see it, but there are no trenches. Like the last update video I did, it was all trenches. Trenches are gone. They filled in. We think everything we should put him in is in him. But yeah, the trenches are gone, which is very exciting. So let me just sort of give you an idea of what's going on. Yeah, I'll just get you. Hang on. So over here is where there was this massive trench up to the pump shed, and that has now been filled in. Look how lovely it looks. So we still have the pits, obviously, and maybe the next video will be the actual fiber installation video. We've done a lot of work here and down there and up in the pump shed there as well, and it's going down to the house. There's a lot of that. I'll give you a bit of a more update in just a second on that. But the trenches are gone. And then one thing I've learned from Pat the plumber, and this is very clever. So when you have a T intersection with trenches, so like from here it goes down to the shed there, but it also goes across there, all the way down there. To know where that T is, put a water tap. So if you're putting water in, of course, but do something in that T intersection so you know that's where it is. We'll never forget that now. That's kind of clever. But yeah, all the trenches are gone, which is exciting. So yeah, let me show you some of the Unifi things that I've been doing as well. So yeah, a few bits. Anyway, let's look at that. So here at the power shed, I did have these G5, G6 instant cameras already, kinda. I just perched them on top of the shed, which is now the point of the video where I have a bit of an admission. I did do a dedicated video on these, but I've forgotten that not only do they come with double-sided tape to put them up, like I did with the U7 mesh access point, they come with them, but they're also magnetic. You can literally just take them off and put it back on. I'd forgotten. I didn't know. So I came to install them and I had my double-sided tape. Went, oh, they already come with double-sided tape. And then I was putting the mount up to just sort of position and see where I would put it, and it went clunk, and it was magnetized and put on there. Yeah, you learn or relearn. So I've got a G6 Instant there, and I'll show you how that's all mounted up as well, because it's they're really neat. I've gone to like them a lot more, to be honest. So there's the G6 Instant on that corner, and then around here, where the U7 mesh is as well, there, well, we'll just put it right next to it because it's magnetic, and you can swivel the mount thing so you can point it, wherever you want. You can point it up here, or you can point it over there, or wherever you want. I've also added one up to the pump shed. I'll show you that in just a second. But in here, in the power shed, they just come in through up there. There, and then there's this cable that comes over here, goes down here, and it's just a power point. And the same on the other side. And here's my beautiful cabling, because this is temporary, and as we know, the most permanent solution is a temporary one. And I was talking about fiber, not done yet. That is, yeah, I'm having help. It's a great video, a long video on how to do all the fiber stuff. But yeah, I should finish that the coming week, and then hopefully that'll come out on the channel. Ooh, door closed. And I've also managed to put up an Akara sensor here, because nice knowing temperature sensor in here with the batteries, and I can have an Akara sensor because I've got a light with a Zigbee light bulb, Philips Hue Zigbee light bulb in it. So Those are the two. Well, there's one there, one on the other side over there. So let me just show you the rest of them that I've done as well. And there's a G6 Instant here at the pump shed. And again, magnet is brilliant. Yeah, I'm loving them more and more. Of course, you do need power for them. So I've only been able to put them where I have power. And you need a Wi-Fi signal, a quite strong Wi-Fi signal. Seems like the Wi-Fi radio in them is not as powerful as it could be, or maybe there's more room. But yeah, just make sure you got good Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is literally next to it. My Wi-Fi U7 Pro Outdoor, which I did in another update as well. Yeah, so there's one here at the pump shed, so that's 3. Then there's one here on the garden shed, which has more of a view of sort of this side of the garden where we had no cameras after the fires at all. And that's powered the same way, so we get power inside the shed and magnets on here. Magnets is amazing, works really well. So that's 4. And then finally, number 5 of the 5 G6 Instant cameras that Unifi very kindly donated to the rebuild is here at the tennis court shed thing that kind of burnt-ish. It burnt on the other side of it, but the shed seems fine. I know, had some equipment in there, that's also fine. And the problem is that we don't have power here. We almost had 240 and the trenches were open and then it all burnt. But anyway, so I have no power here, but I fixed it and I'll show you how. Because to get a camera here was kind of cool, because then we could have a view of the driveway down here, which we didn't really have otherwise. So let me just open it here. It's a bit, there we go. It's a Blue Eddy. So the Elite 300 is powering it. And let's have a look at the display. We can run this for 5 days, 7 days, some days, right? And because this is Wi-Fi powered, I get alerts when it's running low. So yeah, the Blue Eddy is not charging, but we get 5 days of power for the camera. Yes, I know. So that's 5. And if you've seen any of the posts I've done on the channel, you'll know that Unifi have sent more things, because we are going to rebuild the gate, but I'm going to do it better. Yeah, actually some of the stuff you might have seen in there is all the power equipment, but let me just show you where the gate is at right now, at this moment in time. So we're sort of halfway through, and this is the second other large-ish video. It's actually a series of videos that's going to be about the gate. Let me just show you where we're at, because it's kind of, yeah, there's some challenges, but I think we're solving it. So here is your favorite pole of things. I'm still going to use that for a little bit, but I do have a brand new, proper, massive, strong pole that's going to go up, but it's a lot more work. Anyway, this is where all of the equipment was. If you followed the gate videos, with the control box and the Unifi equipment was here, and there was Shelly's converting voltage and all sorts of things. Obviously that's all gone, but we are going to set some of it up again. It's going to be a much better setup, though it's going to be running probably 240 volt instead of all the 12 and 24, and we're just going to go from there. And yeah, let me just show you what we found with some of the conduit. Anyway, it's a little bit of a mess, but I've kind of unmessed it, I think. I'll show you here. So here's the trenches that were, actually that wasn't open, we dug that up again, but that was up to that keypad there. That is now working because we've done this intermediate fix to test it, and there is that one and that one. And that means that keypad is actually working now, which is kind of cool. The wire in there was okay, even though the conduit there looks a bit burnt. It's just on the outside, so we've tested all that. Obviously we're going to replace that. That's not good. And then we've cut all the wires here. So these were the ones that are going down to the gate. There's some here that are 12 volts, some are signal wires, and of course there is a Cat 6 as well, which is there. And you'll see that is a beautiful indoor Cat 6. Never mind. But it all goes into these conduits here, and it is working. We just got to obviously connect all this again. So down at the gate, down here, I have now done a proper farm job of making it working, because I'll show you. I can now go on my phone and I can press the button there and it opens. So it works in Home Assistant, and that wasn't me actually fixing anything. In this box, which I don't want to open right now, because anyway, it's a Shelly that triggers this. And the Shelly now has great Wi-Fi because up there I put a U7 Pro outdoor access point, which it connects to. So it's happy. And then the very beautifully installed here, under here, it's just a 12-volt battery from Renogy, which is going to be part of the new gate setup. So it's not charging it, but it uses so little power, all of this stuff here, that it's fine. Now this is not working yet. That's part of those cables that were in the trench that we need to fix. So the intercom, the AI LPR, the light is working though in it, because the light came from here. So that didn't burn, it just goes under here and down there. So the light in there working. So yeah, we're getting there, halfway. The gate's opening though. You just can't actually ring the doorbell, so we don't know if anyone's here. But you know, little steps. All right, let's talk fiber for just a second. Now there is a full dedicated video coming out on it, which is actually really good. I'm quite proud of it. It's not finished yet, but we're almost there, so hang tight. But a brief fiber update. I put in about 250 meters of fiber, give or take. Some of it was put in by electricians, some of it I put in, so there's two different kinds of fiber, but they do the same thing. And one of them comes out here from this blue cable here. And it goes into this thing, which is called a FOBOT, a fiber optic breakout tray. And I'll explain what that is in that video as well. But this is where the fiber terminates. And I have this little plug here, which is an LC adapter, which is what's going to connect to a switch. Now currently I only have the flex switch, which doesn't have accommodation for this. So you really need SFP to go into this, or from the LC to SFP connector. More about that in that video too. But it's all in there. And all of it seems to work as far as we know. We haven't done proper testing yet, and we haven't finalized all of the runs either. So there's going to be a run from the house to here, and a run from the house to the power shed, which is exciting. So we're going to have a fair bit of speed for my farm fiber backbone network. So fiber's going in. I'm going to show you how to splice it. I'm going to show you all the different weirdness there is to it. And spoiler alert, it's much easier than you think. That's what I've learned. But hold up for that video. Yeah, fiber. Whew, I'm very excited about having fiber everywhere. I know it's very nerdy, but I'm hoping you're with me on fiber is just the best thing to have as your backbone, especially on a property like this. So trench is filled in, yay! Lots of Unifi stuff going in and networking stuff in general, which also of course includes fiber. That's very exciting, actually doing fiber. I'm at a point where I'm almost considering getting fiber tooling, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure, it's expensive. And of course the gate. The gate is being fixed or in the process of, and I've got quite a few videos planned for that because very kind companies have sent me a lot of stuff to make it all happen and actually make it much better than it was before. Simpler, I hope, as well. And then there's other projects going on, like rocks, massive rocks, because we had a lot of retaining walls. They were all done with sleepers, no, wooden sleepers, and they burned. So it looks like this. All the retaining walls look like this. So instead of doing it of wood again, we're going to use rocks because I don't think they'll burn. Not that we're going to have another fire, ever, obviously. But these massive rocks are going to go over here, and I am going to try and make it a bit techie, even though they're rocks. But bear with me, I have plans that may or may not happen. But yeah, we could do something with this, and they're not just for parkour, I think. They are currently, obviously. But that's going to go in. We're going to get a lot more of them, actually, because we've got to put them other places. There's a lot of retaining walls. We live on a hill. So that's the update for this time. I hope you enjoy these videos. If so, consider subscribing. That's that button down below. You can also become a member if you want to support the channel and all the time I'll spend on these projects. And again, there are more videos coming. I've just had a few delays recently. I got to go away for work as well, so that's going to put a bit of a delay on things, but it's all happening here while you're not watching yet, but I am recording by far most of it, so there will be more videos coming out. So thank you so much for watching. As always, thank you, and please consider subscribing. That's the button. Leave a comment on any questions you've got for what I've gone through in this video, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye. Parkour. Whoa. Parkour. Parkour.